Let's rip on Owen Jones. No, we are. For those of you that don't know, Owen Jones is this schoolboy. But he's not a schoolboy. Owen Jones is a fully grown man. He's in his 30s, I believe. Owen Jones is not a schoolboy. He just talks like a schoolboy and looks like a schoolboy. But this is a grown man that gets grown man money. He's a very, well, as you can tell, he's writing for The Guardian. He's extremely left-wing. In fact, I think he says he's a socialist. So, he's an idiot, basically. Sorry, but you just are an idiot. I give a lot of people the benefit of the doubt, but if you're if you're a self-proclaimed Nazi, you're an idiot. If you're a self-proclaimed socialist, you're an idiot. Like, these are things we don't need, okay? We don't need Nazis and we don't need socialists. We really don't. Elements of socialism are good, but full-blown socialism, very bad. Elements of Nazism, anything good in there? I don't know. They made some efficient planes? But do I care much about the subject matter that Owen Jones is writing about? No. I just am going to rip the shit out of him and his silly voice. Because he's a joke. He's a joke. And therefore we should treat this article as a parody. No, we are. Britain into it. So he talks like this. I just want to make something known about Owen Jones as well. He's a staunch Corbyn supporter, and he also has the most annoying way of pronouncing words. Like, I remember when the attack happened in that gay club in Florida, and he was on Sky News, and he famously walked off because he didn't like the conversation. He's a little puss. When he kept saying the word, before it became LGBTQ, it was just LGBT. Pretty sure. LGBT. But the way he says LGBT, where is LGBT? Yeah, LGBTQ. He was going LGBT people. The way he was saying it, he just made that LGBT the most grating thing in my ear, like someone scratching their fingers down a chalkboard. I don't know why. Just the way he says it really makes me want to punch him in the face. I don't know why. He just annoys me. I hate him. I don't hate him. I have no hate in my heart. I just, I wish he'd crawl back in his mother and try again, Britain in 2018 has the feel of a Netflix drama approaching its season finale. It's the classic how on earth does anyone get out of this one kind of cliffhanger, with all the key protagonists confronted by their nemesis. Despite the unpredictability inherent of one of Britain's most severe peacetime political crises, there is one plotline guaranteed to feature when you next tune in. In every possible scenario, the ascendant far right stands to profit. Oh, it's the far right again, Owen. Well, God, that far right. They're a menace. Are they? Fuck, there is no far right. How many of them are there? Britain First is like Jada Franson and fucking old donut face. Only two of them. This is not specific to Britain and our Brexit-induced political tumult. Of the four biggest democracies on earth, three, India, the US and Brazil, have elected leaders who can either be described as far right or backed by the far right. You can tell this. Well, they're either far right or they're backed by the far right. It's like, you mean support backed? Backed. If you're backed, if someone backs you, if I have the backing of someone, I'm expecting quite a lot for someone to back me. Support me? Backed, support, appreciate. Although support can mean, support me with donations. But back me 100%, everything you got. Shut up. I know, it's very easy to just say that and say, well, they're either far right or they're supported by the far right. It's like, well, if you're on the right, you're going to support right-wing people, aren't you? It's not going to make any sense if you're fucking a far left person supporting a right wing person. No, it doesn't make sense, does it? No, obviously. Far-right parties are in government in Italy and Austria. Are they? Is there a far-right party in charge of Austria? Are they? Right, I'll call it bullshit. Austria government. Let's have a look. I mean, out of anywhere on planet Earth, apart from Germany, you know, you don't want a far-right party in charge of Austria. With their history, well, we all know who came from Austria, apart from the world's greatest film director, Michael Haneke. There's that other guy, you know, the Adolf guy. He's a bad man. It's Austria, politics of Kurz government. The Kurz government, the current government of Austria. Right, so they've been in power a year. December 2017. What does it say about that? Leader of the centre-right OVP reached an agreement on a coalition with the right-wing FPO, making him Chancellor of Austria. So, Sebastian Kurz. Well, he's in the right-wing. He's the youngest current serving head of government in the world. Oh, is he? How old is he? He's younger than me. What a prick. He is younger than me. They just hate someone who's done way better than you that's young. Oh, fuck this guy. Austrian People's Party. He was a member of Vienna City Council, where he focused on generational fairness and ensuring pensions. He was appointed to the newly created post of State Secretary. Right, so, yeah, saying there's a far-right government in charge of December is a bit hyperbolic. Shut up, Owen. I don't think they've got a right, they're just right-wing. I mean, this guy was... So the Visegrad, right, he's brought Austria closer to the Visegrad group, particularly the Eurosceptic and right-wing populist governments in Poland and in Hungary. Although he ruled out Austria joining the bloc of Central European nations, Kurz has said that Austria could serve as a bridge between Western and Central European nations within the European Union. His government realised several convergences with Visegrad. So the formation of a new government, a coalition government. So they did a coalition with the Freedom Party. Who are the Freedom Party? The FPO. In 1956, as the successors of the short-lived Federation of Independence, representing the third camp of Austrian politics, pan-Germanists and national liberals opposed to both socialism and Catholic clericalism. So they opposed the Catholics who backed the Nazis, and they opposed socialists who we were supposed to fight before we fought the Nazis. Yes, we were supposed to fight the fucking socialists before Hitler popped his head up. We were supposed to go to war with Russia. Right, okay. Right. But they are aligned with Marine Le Pen. But they're anti-Europe. Shut. I mean, like, you know, you just... Careful what you're saying, you know. Careful what you're saying. So let's read on into this little man-child's school paper. Authoritarian right-wing... Both Hungary and Poland are ruled by authoritarian right-wing extremists. Are they, though? Are they? That's the first I've heard of it. Authoritarian right-wing extremists. Like, if you're going to say authoritarian extremists, I don't understand if you said like Hamas. Yo, Hamas. There's some pretty far-wingy extremists. Do you know what I mean? God, yeah. This is what gets me with people like this. It's just the language they use. It's just, just shut it. The far-right parties have chalked up their biggest electoral triumph since the military defeat of European fascism in nations ranging from France to Sweden. Austerity and economic insecurity have collided with the scapegoating of migrants and refugees at a time when global instability and warfare have driven millions to flee violence and persecution, a minority of whom have arrived on European shores to be met with hostility. But I mean, I'm not going into the whole refugee crisis and blah-de-blah-de-blah, but a hell of a lot of people are coming to Europe. I mean, 1 million people went into Germany, didn't they? That's a lot of people. not a minority. There's not that many people in the Middle East. It's not like the biggest area. Anti-Muslim prejudice has been mainstreamed by politicians and media outlets alike. Just as anti-Semitism became respectable racism between the wars, so it is today with Islamophobia. Oh yeah. Well, seeing as your man, and the organisations you love are constantly being accused of being anti-Semitic it would be quite easy to deflect that away by calling other people out for being a bunch of phobes. Anti-Muslim prejudice has not been mainstreamed by politicians in the UK, okay, and not by media outlets. In fact, they've completely changed the narrative. I did a stream about this before, where it's like the far right is the new Muslim, it's the new Islam, it's the new fear factor that the media and the government like to use to just fuck with us. You know, it was communism for many years, and after 9/11 it was Islamic extremism. That was the new boogeyman. It was Al-Qaeda, it was this, and then it all culminated in ISIS, and ISIS were the most terrifying fucking thing on planet Earth. They were like the evil empire marauding towards us. ISIS are coming. They're throwing gays off roofs. They're drowning motherfuckers in cages. They're putting heads on sticks and smashing up artifacts. These motherfuckers are crazy. You should be terrified. Lock your doors, set fire to your chickens, because ISIS are coming. And then, after 2014, ISIS, gone. No one talks about ISIS. Now it's all far right this, far right that, this massive far right uprising. That's all people are talking about now. It's the new Islam. It's perfectly fine to do scaremongering with that. Like I said, when I looked at the article about national action, loads of stuff keeps getting written about national action. There's only 100 members nationwide. We're supposed to be terrified of these Nazi groups. They're like a very niche group. I've got more subscribers than National Action, motherfucker. You should be more terrified of me. Ludicrous. So yeah, this far right fear is just the new Muslim thing. It is. It's the new Islam. Now Islam's not the big boogeyman anymore. Forget Muhammad, forget Allah, forget Bin Laden, forget anything you know about Islam. It's Tommy Robinson. That's the boogeyman. Jesus. Wow. Tommy Robinson, the notorious opportunist, who is probably earning quite a nice salary from what he's been doing. Imagine Nawaz did an interview with his former assistant, and she was saying he's getting big backing from some there's a lot of billionaires out there that like to back people like Tommy Robinson, on all sides, all political spectrums. You got people like George Soros and the Koch brothers and all these people whose names get brought up for backing these groups. These billionaires just love it. They're like, I like that Tommy Robinson guy. He tells Muslims where to fucking go, and he'll just chuck money at him, and Tommy Robinson will just keep doing it. That's how it is. He's the boogeyman. He's the boogeyman now. Forget about Abu Hamza. He looked like the boogeyman. Tommy Robinson just looks like, it looks like he could play for Barnet. It's like a Barnet striker. Probably a bit nippy on his feet. But hey, Luton. He could play as a striker. Luton are a shit football team, innit? Play as a striker for Luton. That's what he looks like. Abu Hamza, the actual boogeyman with looks like the Arabic version of Captain Hook, and Tommy Robinson. Here's your boogeyman. Here's old boogeyman, new boogeyman. God, we have turned into a bunch of pussies if that's the boogeyman now, isn't it? Christ. Right, let's carry on with Owen's nonsense. To understand how to defeat Britain's far right, we have to be clear about how we arrived at this point. Mass immigration did occur under the new Labour governments, but without any accompanying pro-migrant politics being articulated. Indeed, just the opposite. Tony Blair's administration stripped benefits from refugees in favour of vouchers. It denounced asylum cheats and spoke of refugee children swamping schools from which they were banned, and attempted to outflank the Tories on anti-migration rhetoric. Did they? denounced asylum cheats. Well, good. Jesus Christ. I like the way we're moving towards this thing of like, you know, like denouncing benefit cheats is probably frowned upon now. Yeah, oh no, don't you shame them benefits cheats. They're just human beings. Like, come on, man. David Cameron, oh, let's bring up Dave, shall we? No one cares about Dave no more, innit? David Cameron's subsequent governments denounced Labour's uncontrolled immigration and portrayed the movement of people to the UK solely as a problem to be contained, while setting impossible targets on numbers that were not even close to being met. Theresa May, then Home Secretary, was the most ardently anti-migrant member of his cabinet, notoriously sending go-home vans to mixed communities. An inherently divisive referendum handed a megaphone to a demagogically anti-migrant campaign whose lies and bile led to a surge in hate crimes. Owen, where is the evidence to back up everything you just said in those 2 sentences? Where's the evidence to back up what you just said? You don't have any, I expect. Even if it's true, I wouldn't believe it, because you wrote it. Mainstream newspapers such... Now, this is a point that I came across. There's something that people that write for The Guardian have got it into their heads as if they're like major underground people. Mainstream newspapers such as The Times and The Sun. You mean more successful newspapers? More successful newspapers. I like the way that you do find out with The Guardian that they say that a lot. Mainstream newspapers, as if they're not the mainstream. You are the fucking mainstream. You're constantly attacking new media. Like, you are part of the old school elite of you, and you are mainstream news. You are the mainstream. You're The Guardian. Everyone that works in media reads The Guardian. That's who you are. I love the way they're totally begging it all the time. They're like fucking, oh my god. Jeez, it's like Coldplay saying, no, we never sold out. Well, I don't think Coldplay were ever like not sold out. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? But like, they're totally begging it, just going, oh yeah. Oh no, we're still underground. No, sticking to our roots. We're underground. Do you know what I mean? Like the Black Eyed Peas are still a backpacker hip hop group. They dressed up as Lego men, singing "I had the time of my life." Like, it was really. No, we're not the mainstream. They're the mainstream. Fucking hell. It's like Will.i.am. I'm not mainstream. Not at all. Not me. Not Will.i.am. I'm not mainstream, mate. I'm gutter. I'm underground. Such a piss take. Shut up. So yeah, mainstream newspapers, not The Guardian though. That's like an underground rag. That's like Vice in the 90s. It's just something that punk rockers read in fucking hipsterville. And they've been reprimanded by the press regulator, IPSO, for printing distorted and misleading news stories about Muslims. I don't know about the Times, but I know the Sun definitely have. Sun are fucking naughty. They're naughty. They done some naughty shit. And their retractions as well, like about this big. But it's different compared to The Guardian. The Guardian don't really... But they do write lies consistently. They just use misleading language like every other newspaper does. But they just do it a hell of a lot. Like don't try and stand on a little pedestal like you're better than the Sun. The Sun have actually done campaigns that have done good, and I'd hate to say that because the Sun is a fucking pile of toss. It is probably one of the funniest newspapers, just because the headlines and the writing is just preposterously lunacy. It's just lunacy reading that newspaper. You know, like the Daily Star. It's just reading lunacy. I was like, what? It's just, but at least they're amusing to read. Reading The Guardian is like, God, it's like reading the ramblings of a really precocious, self-important teenager who just needs to fuck something. Just go out and fuck somebody, would you? Owen, how long has it been? It's been a long time, hasn't it? Because you talk like a man that needs to get fucked. In 2 senses of the word. Meanwhile, austerity policies with the worst squeeze in... By the way, there's nothing wrong with not fucking, by the way. But you know when you need to fuck, it becomes blatantly obvious, like, I need to bust a nut. I need to bust a nut. You know what I'm saying? Right. Meanwhile, austerity policies... Oh, I'm bored with austerity. Move on. The next chapter will be far uglier. On the 9th of December, a convicted fraudster and thug named Stephen Yaxley Lennon, or Tommy Robinson, as he styles himself. Stephen Lennon is a better name than Tommy Robinson, isn't it? Stephen Lennon sounds like, I don't know, Stephen Yaxley Lennon. That sounds like someone respectable. Tommy Robinson just sounds like, well, you meet Tommy. Oh, it's Tommy. Tommy comes in, tells a few crude jokes, fucking grabs a girl's tits and gets slapped. Tommy. Tommy's here. Tommy's here. I guess he wanted to sound more like the people. Or less Irish. As he styles himself. I want a name with more style. I want a name with more style. Stephen Yaxley Lennon ain't style. Tommy Robinson, that's styling it. So he will lead a so-called Great Brexit betrayal protest in London. See, like, Tommy Robinson jumped on the Brexit thing. That's not even his brand. Like, Tommy Robinson's just jumping on all of it. I told you, he's a huge opportunist. Like, he's a massive opportunist. The Tory Brexiteers ran a referendum of impossible promises in 2016. The consequent disillusionment is an unmissable opportunity for the far right. Research by the Hope Not Hate campaign. Now, I went through, watched my last stream about Hope Not Hate campaign. I went on the Hope Not Hate website and very disappointed in the work they do, to be honest. Something called Hope Not Hate should be a lot better. They're the ones talking about national action being this, like, they literally say in the same sentence, you know, it's like, oh, they are a threat, but they're not a threat. They're small, but it's like, shut up, stop talking. Campaign provides striking evidence of how acute the sense of betrayal might be. Take the constituency of Dudley North, where nearly 70% of... Why I Hope Not Hate investigating Brexit? I thought they were just about racism. You dicks. Where nearly 70% of voters opted for leave. Here, 58% believe that their economic prospects will improve after leaving the European Union, while just 4% believe the same would happen if Britain maintained its membership. What happens if a pro-austerity Tory government stays in power and life does not get better? Well, this is all what ifs, isn't it? We don't know what's going to happen. And Owen, I don't think you are an economist. And I think you're very misinformed about everything. I don't know what you know. I mean, do you know how to boil an egg? I'd be fucking surprised. I bet cooking dinner at your house is an absolute mad... It must be a mad show. Just trying to eat must be a monumental struggle for you. It must be crazy being you. See, well, here's the egg and here's the water, but what down now? Oh, damn it, what do I do? Like, bring back the coal mines. Wouldn't have to boil an egg then. Like, you couldn't even boil an egg, mate. I challenge you. Send me a video of you boiling an egg. Or buttering toast. Do it. Because I don't think you could do it. You can't do it. The classic hard right trope is the stab in the back myth of a great national project, normally going to war. Betrayal by internal subversion and lack of fight. Whether May's plan passes or fails, a narrative will be woven of a true, pure Brexit betrayed by elites. Owen, you work for the elites. Yaxley Lennon wishes you're like intellectual elite. Well, you're not. You think you are. Present himself as the leader of 52% who opted for leave in the referendum. Wishes to present himself as the leader of Brexit. I don't think even Tommy Robinson's lofty ambitions stretch that far. He's leading a demonstration because someone probably paid him to do it. Will you stop being silly? He must not be gifted this mantle. Well, this is what I said before. If you don't want Tommy Robinson to be the voice of fucking freedom of speech, to be the voice of the forgotten, to be the voice of all these things, because he's an opportunist and he jumps on all this shit. If you don't want him to be the voice, start speaking out against the bullshit that he's speaking out against. And I'm not talking about all the Muslim stuff. Forget all that nonsense. I'm talking about when Count Dankula, when that court case came through, Tommy Robinson was straight in there. He was one of the first people to speak to him. He was outside, streaming, which, you know, gets him a lot of trouble streaming outside courtrooms, don't it? He's an opportunist, and he jumps on these things, and he becomes a leader of it, or becomes a voice of it for his freedom of speech. All these things have been done in his name. And it's because of people like you, Owen Jones, and other motherfuckers who sit there and don't fucking open your mouths to speak about it. This is the guy that's going to do it, and it gives him more power. So if you don't like the guy, start doing something noble with your life and start talking and speaking out against nonsense. Because little girls from Liverpool shouldn't be getting arrested for posting lyrics on fucking Instagram. Speak up, dickhead. Stop moaning about Brexit all the time and like look at stuff that's actually fucking matters. Brexit hasn't even happened. It still hasn't happened. And it's all just... Let's just speculate on it for decades, shall we? You're a fool, bruv. You're an absolute fool. You're a fool. See, present himself as the leader. Well, don't let him be the leader. And stop jumping. Look, people voted. Oh, God. A counter demonstration that day must emphasise that its participants include those who voted Remain. Well, why you got to join in? These are the Leave people, and differ on the question of a second referendum, as well as those who voted for Leave. Yaxley Lennon must be isolated as the idol of Britain's small minority of fascists and nobody else. Scrutiny must fall, too, on funding from the United States for far-right movements such as his. Funding from the United States. You mean from people from America? It's not the American government funding Tommy Robinson, is it? Owen, stop being... It's like, oh, God, I bet when you stubbed your toe, it was like just the most horrendous event in your life. You stubbed your toe, and it was just an epic... Like, it must have been such a moment for you. It must have been such a fuss. There's been 5 ambulances turned up, your parents were bawling your eyes out. You were like, amputate my motherfucking toe, I just stubbed it. Owen stubbed his toe. Call the National Guard. We need Superman. Call Superman. Owen, chill, bro. Hope Not hates Nick Lowles. Recalls a focus group in Sheffield before the referendum. When shown a Remain campaign quote about Brexit being bad for London's financial sector, one working class Labour supporting woman, that's the backbone of Britain, responded, good, maybe they'll feel the pain we're living with. Sympathising with this pain and offering radical solutions to it is a precondition to defeating the far right. So what? You think the far, like, what are you saying? What, the far right is responsible for 17 million people or so, like, voting to fucking leave? You really are a stuck-up arsehole thinking that many people are, like, far right in the UK. What a thing to say, Owen. Shut up. But such a campaign will be far more vicious than the last, with a Leave campaign offered a megaphone for several months to whip up bigotry and bitterness. And what about the bitterness and bigotry on the Remain side? The looking down your noses at everybody that voted to leave. I didn't vote neither way because, like I said, I don't know anything about it, and neither did half the fucking people that voted. Either fucking way. For some reason, all the people that voted Remain think that they know more than the people that voted Leave. It's insane. None of you knew nothing. You're all fucking ignorant. The lot of you. At least some of us admit we're ignorant to it and don't get involved. If I see someone in the street and their leg's been chopped off, I'm not going to step in and go, I know exactly what to do, because I don't. And that's fine. It's not my area of expertise. Do you know what I know to do? Call 999 or whatever the number is out here. I really ought to know that number for emergency services, because I'm getting a lot of trouble recently. Someone's going to kick my fucking head in one day out here, you know what I'm saying? I really need to know that number. That's a bit of a joke. There's been a surge in hate crimes in 2016, probably against Jews from Corbyn supporters. Right, the danger is that this mantle will instead be seized by the Tory populist right. There's no populist right in the Tory party. Jeremy Corbyn's the only populist in the UK, isn't he? You call Theresa May a populist? Bloody hell. She must about as flamboyant as a fucking dried piece of fish. Whatever now happens in the coming tumultuous weeks and months, those who oppose a Tory Brexit must base their politics on a radical anti-establishment break of the status quo. You're part of the establishment, bro. Shut up. The turn back the clock centrist politics of Chuka Umunna or Anna Soubry cannot answer the grievances that led to the current political moment. Oh yeah, let's go far left, shall we? Defeating May's plan must be presented as the first stage in peaceful, democratic revolution to rebuild Britain. Why do we need to rebuild Britain? I thought Britain was about to go down the fucking toilet. So we're already in the toilet. I mean, how much further down the toilet is it going to go, Owen? Uniting both Remain and Leave voters. Well, you're not doing a very good job of uniting them. You're just accusing them all of being bigots. How are you going to unite people when you call them a bunch of cunts? What? You're fucking insane, bro. This article was amended on the 29th of November 2018 because an earlier version referred to Sheffield as the largest city to vote Leave. Birmingham, which voted Leave, is bigger. Well, I'm glad they amended that part of it. But that's the least of his problems. Oh, here you are, our Guardian begging for money again because, you know, they're not mainstream. Do you know what I'm saying? They're just a small little organisation. The Guardian aren't mainstream. They're an underground fucking fanzine of news. It's written like it's a fanzine, but they are not.